Okay, now in this problem, we are going to solve equations potentially with an extraneous solution, even though it says with. You'll notice here that we have a difference of squares. We have f minus 2 and f plus 2. So the first thing we're going to do is factor. Always look to factor if you can. You always want to get the lowest common denominator, not the highest common denominator. So now you can see that our lowest common denominator is f minus 2 times f plus 2, right? That's what this requires. This one requires an f minus 2. This one requires an f plus 2. So we only want to put in one of each because each one just needs one. And then we're going to multiply everything by that common denominator. So we have f minus 2, f minus 1. Of course, those cancel with that. We have f minus 2, sorry. F minus 2 and f plus 2. I don't know where I got a minus 1 from. F minus 2 and f plus 2. So the f minus 2's cancel, but the f plus 2 stays there. And then I have f minus 2 times f plus 2. And this time the f plus 2's cancel. So notice all my denominators disappear. So I end up with 2f plus 1 times f plus 2, comes from that, equals 2 times f minus 2, comes from that one. And now based on that, we're going to multiply everything out. So we have 2f plus f plus 2, because we distribute the 1, equals 2f minus 4. So notice this 2f and this 2f cancel, because they're on the separate sides of the equal sign. So I just have f there. I'm going to subtract 2, and I get f equals negative 6. We think that's the answer. We check for extraneous solutions. Notice in this case, f cannot equal 2, and f cannot equal negative 2. Okay, going to this one, factoring. Always factor out any numbers that we potentially can, anything that's common to all the terms. So notice I have 2 times x plus 1. And notice now my LCD is equal to 2 times x plus 1, because all of them need an x plus 1, and these two need a 2. So we include the lowest common denominator there by including that. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I multiply everything by the LCD. So 2 times x plus 1 and 2 times x plus 1. And notice, of course, the x plus 1's cancel there. The x plus 1's cancel, and so do the 2's. The whole thing cancels there, just like the last one. So I have x minus 8 plus x equals 2 times 2x minus 3. Okay, that's where that 2 comes from over there. So I have 2x minus 8 equals 4x minus 6. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I don't like to have a negative number next to the x, even though it doesn't really matter. I then have negative 8, because these cancel, equals 2x minus 6. I'm going to add 6 and add 6. So I get negative 2 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. Negative 1 equals x. So that's my potential answer. Notice that based on the solution, that tells me x cannot equal negative 1. So therefore, that answer doesn't work, and there is no solution. Okay, and then finally, we're going to graph. So graphing these kinds of equations, it says graph these two separately. So we're going to go over to DESMOS.com. So we're going to go ahead and go over to DESMOS. And we're going to come up here and we hit DESMOS, type it in, of course. We're going to log in. We're going to type in the equations f of x. So f of x equals, and when we do that, we've got f of x equals 2 over x squared minus 2. 2 divided by 2x squared minus 2, or it might be plus 2. Go back and check it there. no, minus 2. So 2 over x squared minus 2. I think I put an extra 2 in there. And then gx is 1 over x minus 1. Is 1 over x minus 1. 1 over x minus 1. So g of x equals x divided by x minus 1. I don't think that's right, but we're going to check it here in a second. So we're going to go back and check our values. So 1 over x minus 1. You can see my memory isn't the greatest. So 1 over x minus 1. Come back over here. 2 over x squared minus 2. 2 over x squared minus 2. Good. Okay. Now notice in this equation here, we can see that the red one is the first equation, f of x. We can see that, and this kind of parabola looking thing, and this other side that we have over here. G of x is kind of the bluish purplish one. That's good enough for me. Notice where they cross, that's the solution. So we're going to mark it, and we're going to mark where they cross. And then you'll notice that the equation says in there that we are solving this equation. So what are we solving for? We're solving for x. So if we're solving for x, we're going to come back over here, and we're going to figure out the x value of each of these. So notice that x equals 2 and x equals 0. So I erased it when I went over it. So x equals 2 based on the graph. X equals 2 and x equals 0. Now we're going to kind of go through and see if any of these work potentially, but you'll notice that things should work out this way because of the way that we're going to multiply this through. But that would be the solution if we're looking for trying to find the solution on the graph. But we can see where they're actually crossing in this particular case. And so that's our answer, and that's what we've got based on that. And that's it for this lesson, and actually we're done with this module.